Yo, what is up, guys? It's it's NLG here, and today we have the next episode of our TW 2020 Local to Global series. In the last episode, we saw a very interesting turn of events. Daniel Garcia debuted, defeating Mike Bailey. Shane Mercer racked up another win against Space Monkey. Grindhouse defeated Sky High in a highly anticipated match. Ken Broadway defeated Colin Delaney. Team C Stars defeated the makeshift pairing of Marcia Slamovich and Sky Blue. Obviously, those two rivals couldn't coexist. Tony Dippin tapped out Jigsaw. Kylie Ray beat Jimmy Wang Yang. Jimmy Wang Yang was beat down by James Maritato, who claimed his life had been ruined and issued a tag team challenge. For those unaware of who James Maritato is, that is the former Nunzio and Little Guido. If you want to know why his name has changed to James Maritato, then you'll need to check out the last episode. It's a short one, but it's a doozy. We shall jump straight into this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Back again in the Voltage Lounge from a nice even 100 people. Promotions NLG presents Buried in the Sound. We kick things off with a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat as Tony Dippin, he picks up another win. That man is on fire. He defeats Colin Delaney via submission with poultry mutilation. Took him 12 minutes and 19 seconds. You know, Colin Delaney, the former WWE ECW alumnus, he put up a good fight. He got a very entertaining and impressive 51. But Tony Dippin, one of the best junior heavyweights in the promotion, gets a 62 rating. I was going to call him one of the best junior heavyweights in America, and then I immediately realised I just don't think that's true. He's decent, but, you know, one of the best junior heavyweights in America. I mean, Mike Bailey, Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, and many more. Hell, you can put Pac in consideration for that since he's a junior heavyweight. But yeah, Tony Dippin gets the victory. Colin Delaney, a man I've been watching a fair bit of in WWE ECW lately, a guilty pleasure of mine. Very fast episodes that go by a real breeze. But yeah, Colin Delaney and Tony Dippin gets a 59, very impressive. Someone did comment on a recent episode very recently as to what the product is. I have changed it since then to No Style Style. I want to say it was classic balanced, but it was just a bit harsh. But this feels a bit generous, to be honest. Wow. 100 people getting treated to a real doozy there. As we jump into our next match, it is tag team action, and we have a debutant, and bloody hell, we have 2 injuries. In about that, had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Canada's tag team of Fight or Flight, the pairing of Gabriel Fuerza and Vaughn Vertigo, defeat Jigsaw and Lindsay Dorado, the 2 masked babyfaces. They get the win in 12 minutes when Gabriel pins Jigsaw. Vaughn suffered or sustained chronic shoulder pain, limiting his performance to a 49. Gabriel Fuerza gets a 51. Lindsay Dorado gets a 56. And Jigsaw pulls off a 49. He fractured his cheekbone, that one. So, real bad one. I don't know where those injuries came from. Jigsaw was also really off his game. A really bad night for him. He got pinned as well. Fuerza and Vaughn Vertigo got a tag team specialist bonus. And the debut of Lindsay Dorado's Golden Links gimmick, very cool name, gets an initial rating of very good. Unfortunately, was defeated. I felt like I'd bring Lindsay in. We have boosted these episodes now, or these shows, I should say. Each show is now 2 hours long rather than 90 minutes since we're making such a profit. It makes sense to bolster them up a bit. And that leads to debutantes of ex-WWE talents such as Lindsay Dorado, a very good wrestler who I believe recently announced he's not taking dates for 2023, which is a shame. A good wrestler who never got his fair crack at the whip. But yeah, I mean, a very interesting match there. We'll see how bad those injuries are. And, I was about to say no botches, but no, Jigsaw, his botch gave Vaughn chronic shoulder pain. It would have been funny if Vaughn then fracked his cheekbone. But anyways, a freestyle segment occurs next. I wasn't meant to read that bit. James Maritato comes out. Obviously, he has the mystery partner tag team match against Wang Yang and Shannon Moore. James Maritato cuts a promo, the essence of it being in the title that you can see there. He states to the masses in the Voltage Lounge, For months, I've been robbed of my name. Identity theft. It has occurred. I lost my identity not once, not twice, but thrice. The name Nunzio, the name Little Guido, they were robbed of me. I made those names. I was those names 25 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And I reverted to who I am. No more gimmicks. No more characters. No more Sicilian shooter. Now it's the straight shooter, James Maritato. And guess what? Apparently, that's copyrighted too. My own name, my own being was copyrighted. I lost my identity, but I found my true being. And in that, I found a brother. My brother, Ken Broadway. Cashflow is my brother, for I am Tony Broadway. Now, this is a reference that not many people will get, but if you ever saw TNA's Indian offshoot promotion, Rinka King, Lil Guido actually fought over there as Tony Broadway. He teamed with Hollywood, who is the man that won't be named, and funnily enough, Tony Broadway isn't copyrighted because TNA ain't copyrighting that shit. So James Maritato, he can't be Lil Guido, he can't be Nunzio, he can't even be James Maritato. But he can and will be Tony Broadway, and he has found his definitely biological brother, Ken Broadway. Tony Broadway worked the crowd well, using the freedom to improvise to his advantage. The crowd in the game react very well to this. They are hugely appreciative of this true coming-of-age moment for Tony Broadway. I wonder if anyone's ever described a 50-year-old's day as coming of age. But yeah, he's got his brother now. Isn't that happy? A big win for the bad guys, as then the bad guys get another win. In a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, the Broadway Brothers defeat Shannon Moore and Jimmy Wang Yang in 10.5 minutes when Tony Broadway pinned Shannon Moore after using a foreign object. He's got, what can he use? What can he use? I don't know. He gets a bag of pasta and he just starts jabbing the pasta in the eyes of Shannon Moore. This song is utter shit. Anyways, sorry, it's 4 a.m. I'm completely caught off guard. As was Ken Broadway, who was really off his game. Tony Broadway and Ken Broadway have absolutely zero chemistry as partners. Oh no, I was so proud of this storyline. Oh my gosh. That throws a spanner in the works. A spanner is a wrench for those of you on the other side of the Atlantic. Shannon Moore with a 43, Jimmy Wang Yang with a 50, because this mod's definitely up to date with their skill set. Tony Broadway with a 20 and Ken Broadway with a 26. Oh my word, that is rancid. Oh, the worst thing is, they cheated to win. So I have to have a rematch with them as partners, and Tony finally gets a win. He couldn't buy a win for months, he finally gets a win, and now would you look at that. I've already got an idea of how I can run with this, but I am absolutely heartbroken at that. I wanted to eventually do a tag team tournament and they were going to be a key team. That is quite disheartening. To be fair, Tony Broadway got a 20 and Ken Broadway got a 26, so maybe it's for the best. Anywho, up next, the heels win. Well, the heels win and stops, but only because we've got a babyface versus babyface matchup. And about that had superb wrestling and good heat. Say his name, something. Jake something defeats, and he defeats Andrew Everett in 15:29. He pins him with a black hole slam. Jake something, one of the most underutilized wrestlers on the whole continent of North America at the moment. Someone get that man to Japan. He is fantastic. His badass gimmick gets in this reign of great, and Drew Everett's gimmick gets in this performance gets reign of 46. Something's 49. A big win for something. I do like Andrew Everett, who was a key member of the mid-card scene in the initial local to global we did on the channel on TW 2016 about 2 years ago. Jake something was a man who went about 0 for 13 in that series. Since then, he's become an even better performer, And this time, he's actually getting wins, or at least a win. So a good start for Jake something there. A man I've been a fan of for a good 4 or so years now, ever since the wrestling faction in AEW, which was my first exposure to him. I think he's absolutely excellent. The fact that AEW haven't signed him is mental. Even NXT, he would have been cracking in NXT 2.0. But yeah, 47 there, a much better match than the last one. After the match, Andrew Everett and Jake something shake hands, just cementing the fact that we've got two good guys against each other, a mutual showcase of respect between the two. This is followed up with a huge grudge match in a superb match. Marcia Slamovich drew with Sky Blue in 8:23, following a disqualification for the pair of them. They both just refuse to adhere to referee Nick Shin's instructions. They have great chemistry showing their performances. The feud advances, a 42 for Marcia and a 40 for Sky. A very good little brawl there for the two young female wrestlers who are both very, very good. It's a shame that we couldn't get a definitive conclusion to the match. The two of them brawl. They throw chairs at each other. They brawl across the small voltage lounge. And then after the match, Sky Blue ascends to the balcony. And she takes out Marcia Slamovich with a huge crossbody. Wow, the fans are stunned. This loses heat for this segment because you can't rate this segment on holy shit, that is insane, what on earth. But yeah, this feud is not finished yet, and it looks like we're going to have a huge grudge match in the future. Last time it was count-outs, this time was disqualification, so next time I think we might have to have a no DQ match, maybe even a last woman standing match to settle the huge war once and for all, to settle the score between these two fierce females. Next up is our semi-main event of the evening. We have more females, or one more female, in Smiley Kylie as she fights Daniel Garcia in an exceptional match. Daniel Garcia submits Kylie Ray in 14 minutes with a sharp shooter. Daniel Garcia gets a 62, Kylie with a 55. You might notice a lot of these matches sub 15 minutes. That's how I tend to book on this game in a local to global where, you know, it's not like you're having weekly build on TV for these matches. In my head, I envision each match, the competitors cut a promo which gets posted on the company's Twitter and YouTube, and then before the match, we air both of the promos together on the screen, and then out they come to have the match. So there's at least some build to it, but I don't think you can have that on the fly build and then a 20-minute match all the time. I don't think it would work. And sometimes short and sweet works very well. But another match, another win for Dan Garcia. 2-0 is the new Ring of Honor Pure Champion in real life. Very happy for him. He's very, very good. As we jump to the main event, it's Speedball Mike Bailey and it's Shane Mercer. And in a 54 rated match, in about that had superb wrestling and great heat, Speedball Mike Bailey, the real life Impact X Division champion, defeats Shane Mercer in 14:37 via pinfall with a shooting star knee drop. A 63 for Speedball and a 41 for Mercer. I needed to end the storyline with that segment, but I forgot to, but it's all good. So yeah, the story with this feud was going to be that Mercer goes over. Unfortunately, he's not actually as good as I expected him to be. He's someone I always hear good reviews about, always positive feedback. Speedball Mike Bailey, one of the best junior heavyweights on the planet in my opinion. And he's just too good to have Mercer believably go over. And it's a shame. I think in real life you could do it, but this isn't real life. This is TW. Promotions NLG isn't a real company, at least just yet. And if it was a real company, I probably wouldn't be owning events in New York because I'd go bankrupt from flying myself out for them. But yeah, Speedball with a 63, Mercer with a 41, 54 for the match. A win for Mike Bailey, and we'll see where he goes from there. The show gets a 56, very impressive. Mike Bailey gets complimented. Jimmy Wang Yang gets complimented. Who else did well? Lindsay did alright. I think Colin Delaney impressed me actually, so well done to him. So yeah, we're done with the Shannon Moore versus Jimmy Wang Yang storyline. We are done with the Speedball versus Mercer storyline. The only long-running storyline we have left is Sky Blue versus Marcia Slamovich. So that puts us in a bit of a transitional phase here. That's our fourth show. I intended for those feuds to last a few months because this puts us in a prime spot. I wanted to crown a champion, but I hate it when you crown a champion on the first show, because that belt means nothing. The company has no lineage, it has no shows, there's no prestige or reputation. It's just a belt, it means nothing. But if you have a few shows, the fans become loyal to the company, and that belt means something, because there's some form of background. So we are going to start the tournament to crown the first ever Promotions NLG champion. What do you think that championship should be called? I'll probably have decided by the time this episode airs, I'm not going to lie, but leave your suggestions down below, because if there's a good one, it could get used in the future. But yeah, because I'm not going to lie, I've not decided what the name is yet. I kind of like the name of the NLG Heritage Belt. I've always liked that from AEW when I used to watch them in years past. But I feel like the NXT UK Heritage Cup kind of ruined that for me. So if anyone has the idea of a championship name, then do let me know. It won't be called a World Championship, since it's not being defended across the world. But if you have any suggestions, do let me know. If we look at the emails, Mike Bailey needs time to heal. We'll see how long these two guys are out. If we check the size, we are still not up to 11 popularity. And if we click the medical tab, 20 days for Jigsaw, 36 for Vaughn, 7 months left for Matt Mikowski, who is on the roster, someone I would like to bring in to appear. So we'll see that happen in the future once he's back. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed a longer episode than the last couple. And I hope to see you all soon for episode 5 of our Local to Global series.